trade has continued. It's not going as fast as before, but you can put blocks and you could put sanctions and you could put all sorts of barriers, taxes and tariffs and whatever in the way of trade, and trade finds a way.
So push deeper into emerging and developing markets, focus on smaller businesses. But I guess what we're seeing right now is the regionalization of global trade.
So I think demand is here. It creates a huge amount of value for populations around the world. So it's not going to disappear. We like to say at Coface, trade is like water, it finds a way.
I'm Xavier Durand, editor at Trade Treasury Payments. Today we're in Vienna, Austria at ICESA's 100th annual general meeting, a rather special occasion, and we have a very special guest, Xavier Durand, Group CEO at Coface. Xavier, welcome.
Thank you.
So, to start off with, Coface recently published a study showing how deep agentic AI could transform employment markets. But how do you feel about rebalancing some of your investments from people to technology?
Well, this is not something new, by the way. This is something that's been going on for a very long time, almost throughout my entire career. Because if you think I started out in business, we didn't have cell phones, and neither did we have laptops, nor did the internet exist. So this is yet one other revolution. I would say a really important one, and one that is accelerating exponentially. We've started on that journey ourselves years ago. I think our first foray into the space was probably 7 or 8 years ago. And then we created a data lab to start to harness models that were based on AI principles.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just been exponential. I think, no question, you cannot be left behind. You have to invest, is my view. Now, everybody will or is investing or is thinking about investing or doing it in different ways. Whether you target it to the right places and whether that investment is efficient is, I think, going to be the key differentiator between different players.
Well, I guess on that point on investment, due to the rapid advancement and spreading of artificial intelligence, is the credit insurance sector really adapting fast enough to really utilize AI?
I think everybody's making progress, and I think every company I can think of is investing in this space. What AI does, it reduces the moats between those who are incumbents and those who are potentially competitors. But at the same time, it gives the incumbents the ability to accelerate themselves and strengthen what else they have already built. The knowledge, the data, the brand, the history, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's a race. And I think the sector, like literally every industry, is going to evolve and is going to invest. And again, back to my prior comment, it's going to be about how you do it and or how you choose to do it, and whether this will be efficient or less efficient.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about the product. What is the limit you'd like to push in credit insurance?
I think credit insurance, for having been around for 100 years, Coface itself is a company which celebrated its 100th anniversary in Germany a couple of years ago and just celebrated 80 years in France. The whole industry deals with, 5-7% of total world receivables. So there's a huge white space out there. It's outside of Europe, and it's around the world on the smaller companies side. Large groups tend to know about the product and tend to have been exposed or using it in the case of Europe. I think the key question for me is, how do we access the huge market represented by SMEs, represented by emerging markets, places that have not had the knowledge to use this product in the past. And I think that's a huge challenge for an industry which is quite small. If you take the total number of people employed in this industry, it's quite small.
Thank you very much. So push deeper into emerging and developing markets, focus on smaller businesses. But I guess what we're seeing right now is the regionalization of global trade. We do see people looking at diversifying their supply chains. But would you fear seeing appetite for trade credit insurance shrink as a result of that regionalization?
We like to say at Coface, trade is like water, it finds a way. And if you see what's happened over the last, I would say, years, trade has continued. It's not going as fast as before, but you can put blocks and you could put sanctions and you could put all sorts of barriers, taxes and tariffs and whatever in the way of trade, and trade finds a way. So I think demand is here. It creates a huge amount of value for populations around the world. So it's not going to disappear. And when you trade, there's risk involved. So there's going to be demand. I'm not worried about this. Which form it takes, how you satisfy it, how you're able to make it easy and make it affordable, that's a good question.
Thank you very much. That was Xavier Durand, Group CEO at Coface. Xavier, thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.